Hello, everybody. Hello. This is Chris. Come on. What's happening with the video? Come on. Video. Let's go again. Come on. No video. Starting the video. Beautiful. Hey, guys. How are you guys? This is the live stream for the 11th of November 2020. How are you guys? I hope you're having a great Wednesday. I've been really busy, as you can probably tell, because I haven't been as active. Let me share my screen so we can get straight into it, and you'll see what's what. First of all, why have I disappeared? And secondly, is this going to be a vlog? Is this going to be about my life and not about designing? That's the question. Remains to be seen. So, listen, regarding my oatmeal business, things have been going great. And you would assume that because things have been going great, that I have loads of orders every day. Things are fantastic, right? More orders, more sales, more money, right? Wrong. And here's why. Because when I ship in the whole country, right? These products, they're based on milk. Because they're based on milk, almond milk to be precise, obviously they need to be cooled. They need to be chilled, right? They need a certain temperature, about 2, 3, 4 degrees Celsius. So really cold, right? Not freezing, but cold. So what should we do in order to ship them across the whole country, which is fairly big? Romania is quite big. So what we did was we bought these special things, these special, what you gonna call it, these special boxes, right? And they're very expensive, unfortunately. But basically they're built out of a material that really keeps in the coolness, the cold, basically, right? So those are very expensive, but it is what it is, right? Now, in order to cool them, we actually have these blue things, these blue units, which go in the freezer, and then basically they keep emitting cold for about 24 hours, more or less, right? So that's the idea, right? We put all the jars, all the oatmeal jars in a box, and inside that box we put this cooling agent, right? So that's all fine and well, right? In the past we've had 10 orders per day, 15 orders per day, 20 orders per day, which it is what it is, right? Now things have been going great because I improved the website so much, and I improved my Facebook ads so much that obviously things have gone constantly up. The conversion rate has gone up. Everything is going much better, right? So again, that should be a great thing. But unfortunately, here's the thing. We ship these black boxes, which are again like very expensive, about I would say about $50 each, something like that. With the package itself, the actual oatmeal jars and lemonade and whatnot, and the cooling agents. We put about 4 or 5 pieces into each box, right? Now this goes out on Monday and it comes back to us on Wednesday, right? Because obviously, again, the box is expensive, the cooling agent is expensive as well, so we need that back, right? So we're paying for shipping both ways. But because we're shipping on Monday and we get it back on Wednesday, what happens on Tuesday? Because we need more boxes and more cooling agent, right? So because of that, we are now at the point where we have about 100 boxes of this kind and about 600 or so cooling pills. Now, that's a real problem because basically those 100 boxes, they fill out this entire room, right? They're very big, unfortunately, and it is what it is. More than that, the problem is the following. You would say, okay, not a problem, Chris, just buy more and it is what it is because there's more money, right? If you send out more boxes, that means more money, right? Well, unfortunately, these cooling units, they basically refrigerate in about 48 hours. So I deliver them on Monday. They come back on Wednesday, but on Wednesday, they're basically water. They no longer have any cooling properties, right? So they need to go back in the freezer, right? And they need to stay in the freezer for about 2 days. So in the best case scenario, they can be reused about Friday, right? So now, again, you might say, okay, Chris, just buy more cooling pills, more cooling agent, right? It is what it is. More sales, more money, not a problem. Okay, I would buy that, I would do that, but I already have 3 freezers filled with them, because again, I have about 600 of them. So then, okay, you might say, okay, Chris, then just buy another freezer or buy a bigger freezer. I already have huge freezers. No worries. Let's say I'm gonna buy yet another freezer. Well, the problem is I bought so many freezers and so many equipment that the power grid in that specific building, in my specific laboratory, my unit, my warehouse, whatever that is, doesn't allow me to plug anything in anymore. Basically, I've reached the top amount of electricity that I'm allowed. So this means that even if I wanted to buy another freezer, I don't have enough space, because again, the boxes are huge. They take up they take up a lot of my space. I already have a pretty big space. It's about 160 square meters. I don't know how to convert it into square feet or whatever the people in America use. But anyway, it's a fairly decent space for the type of business I'm currently running at my size. So yeah, that's a huge problem. I don't have space. I don't have enough cooling agent. I don't have enough space for my freezers. And even if I bought more freezers, the current electricity is maxed out. Because again, I have so many things in that specific laboratory that it's impossible. Loads of things that help me to produce more. So that's what's been on my mind. And again, if I only have 10 orders, for example, on Monday, no problem, right? But if I have 40 on Monday and 50 on Tuesday and 45 on Wednesday, as you can imagine, things grow out of control. You can't really buy. I mean, you could potentially buy even more, but so it's been a nightmare, basically. Not only that, I obviously have a team of about 11 people right now. And again, 11 people were hired for whatever, 10, 15, 20 orders per day. If all of a sudden we get 40 or 45 or 50 orders, now all of a sudden I need to hire more people, which is, so this is what I've been up to. This is why I've been fairly stressed out, and I was so incredibly busy. It's not more regarding the stress, it's more about not disappointing the clients, because obviously people buy this stuff because it's a good product, they're great products, but if they don't get it in time, or if they don't get it, if they don't get the oatmeal that's actually chilled at 2 degrees or whatever, if it's not cold, then it's no good, right? So that's the only part that's actually really stressful, right? The rest of the day, I'm just trying to buy more stuff and just reorganize everything so I can fit even more. Okay, so that's what I've been up to. That's the end of the vlog. Now let's get back into the design stuff. So first of all, we have this design, which is a winner. Cucumber, one of our members, actually managed to win another design contest. And as far as I know, Cucumber has won a couple of contests, so I'm really happy. And just congratulations for the winning design competitions. You're awesome. Now, the problem with this specific one, we actually have the brief right here. It's only for $250, so it's not a huge sum of money, but for a single page, it is what it is. Now, the problem with it is that it got reported. Someone reported him. This is for a landing page design, right? So landing page, not web design. And basically, from what I've seen here in the chat, Cucumber is a bit uneasy about it, because obviously, if he loses his account on 99 Designs, obviously a huge opportunity closes, right? So ideally, you would not want to have any problems on 99 Designs. Someone reported him, and from what I understand, obviously the report is anonymous, so you'd never actually know who actually reported him. The problem is, the reporter says this is not an actual landing page. The guy that reported him says that this is actually a website, and because of that, basically the client should not award him, because this is not a landing page. So I'd like to take a few minutes to speak about that. In short, if you've already seen mastered web design in Photoshop, you probably know the difference between a website and basically a landing page. Now, let me clear this up real quick, because I think you want quick answers. I think that's the number one thing. There's basically the difference between a landing page and a web design page, especially on 99 Designs, is it's the same way where I think something is spicy and you think something is not spicy. So it's a matter of interpretation. It's a matter of how you like to look at things. For me, if I eat spicy all the time, obviously it's one way. If you don't eat spicy food at all, obviously you're going to have a different experience. So again, it's a very subjective thing when you're dealing with 99 Designs. In short, a landing page is supposed to advertise one single thing, one single feature, right? So for example, in Master Web Design in Photoshop, we have Uber as an example, right? The website for Uber is the following. Let's see. So here you can see that there is actually there are many facets of the company. The company does a lot of things, right? You can ride, you can hire an Uber, you can earn money by working as an Uber driver. You can use Uber Eats to get food delivered to your door, and obviously various other things. Now, this is a website. This is a website because it shows you the many different options of that specific business. In the same way, where my oatmeal business is a website as well. You can see a variety of products here, right? Now, a landing page is different because it focuses on one single thing. For example, in the Uber example, instead of showing absolutely every other option here, you're just taken to a page where Uber wants to hire you as a driver, and that's it. The whole website is all about you making money by earning. So again, landing pages are specifically built with one thing in mind, to make you sign up for the specific thing. And the whole idea behind it is the following. If you have all sorts of distractions, look, Uber Eats, Uber Freight, Uber Business, and whatever, you may not sign up as a driver, right? And this is why companies do the following thing. They have one specific website that shows everything that they do, and then they create separate landing pages for different things, and then they advertise them on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot, right? So what tends to happen is you're going to see an ad, hey, become an Uber driver. You're going to click and you're going to be taken to a separate landing page where it's all about signing up as a driver. If you're looking for the food, you're going to click a separate ad, and that's going to show you the restaurants in your area. So that's the whole point behind a landing page. It's for a specific purpose. Now, in my specific case, this would be the following. I would create a landing page just for the oatmeal, for example. And I would let you know the benefits of oats. I would only show you these specific products, and everything else would get discarded. Everything else would get thrown out. All the copy would only be about oats. You would not see everything else regarding whatever blog and anything else. There's only one thing. It's really focused, right? And again, usually this works very, very well. The less distractions, the better the conversion rate. Now, in this specific case, it really doesn't matter what we think. That's the whole point. This is why I said it's like if a food is spicy to you or not. This is something where it really doesn't matter. A landing page doesn't have a certain layout or a specific look. It's not something clear cut to the sense that, for example, you can't include a pricing table or you should always include a form. It doesn't work like that. So a landing page doesn't have specific components. This is what I'm trying to say, right? So because it doesn't have a checklist basically of things that you have to include, you don't have you don't have a set of rules based on which you can separate web design from a landing page, right? It's purely subjective. It's what the client thinks. So in this specific case, what happened, I would say about 80% sure what happened here is the following. The client did not report you. The client didn't say anything. Most often than not, what happened was you had a sore loser. you participated, you won the contest, and then someone just said something about you, just reported it just for the hell of it, because maybe 99 Designs will somehow make a mistake and disqualify you. Maybe an actual person won't look at the actual contest, and for whatever reason, maybe you're not gonna get awarded, right? In the slightest, you're just gonna have a few headaches, right? So if you won, and I'm really upset that you won, I want to make your life miserable. That's the whole thing behind it. This is what happened here. I'm at least 80% sure this is what happened here. So one of the guys that actually participated here probably did the following. They just they looked at the design, they clicked on report, and then they did whatever inappropriate content, whatever. Now I had this happen to me as well. Someone reported it for the pornography, I think, or something like that. Something that just boggles your mind, doesn't make any sense, right? But there's no logic behind it. People just want to hurt you. So in this specific case, Cucumber, you should not withdraw your design. You shouldn't do anything. You should not contact the contest holder. You shouldn't say anything, right? The only thing that you should do, if the client contacts you, which I doubt it, but if the client contacts you, you just have to say, hey, someone reported me for the silly reason, for the whatever. Don't be too hard. Don't say stupid reason or something like that. Just be professional about it. Things are gonna get cleared up in a couple of days once 99 Designs checks everything out. That's it, right? Then wait patiently and you're gonna be good to go. Don't worry about it, because if you worry about it, the other guy wins. Again, this is just a sore loser, nothing else. There's no discussion. 99 Designs will not analyze if this is an actual landing page, because there's no checklist, right? There's not something in particular that says, okay, landing pages have to be brown and they have to be 1000 pixels tall and they have to have a form and they have to have a contact number. That list doesn't exist, right? So because the list doesn't exist, because there's no logic behind the report, you're just gonna get the money and that's that. So don't do anything, just sit, wait, and you're gonna be good to go. Right, so that's one part. Now, let's see if Dean is here. Dean is not here, so unfortunately, he's gonna miss out on the following. Now, Dean made this recording where basically he has some questions. Let's see, okay. So basically, he has a question regarding how I space things out, how I set up my typography and whatnot. Before we really get into it, I think that there's one thing in particular that I really hammer in Master Web Design in Photoshop, and that's focusing on results, right? Because results is, again, 100% what matters. It's, again, the thing that I'm constantly telling you regarding my oatmeal business, my e-commerce business. I had 10 orders, now I have 40 orders per day, right? I was making whatever, $1,000, now I'm making $3,000. This is everything that matters, right? This is the only thing that actually matters. This is the essence, the crux of it, the whatever you want to call it, right? So focusing on the spacing, obviously this is a good thing from the designer standpoint. But in the real life, what really matters is making sure that people order it, that people actually buy that specific service or whatever that is. So here, for example, what I'm seeing is that this photo, for example, this hero image is too far down. I'm seeing that there's unused space in this place right here. I'm seeing a non-standard main menu, right? So these things are immediately raising flags in my mind, because that's not gonna help your user experience. Your users are gonna scratch their heads about it. Your users are not gonna know exactly where the main menu is. And because that slight hesitation is there, because again, it's a slight hesitation, you can obviously see that the main menu is right here. So it's not like it's somewhere hidden and whatnot, but that slight hesitation is gonna cost you, right? Instead of 40 orders per day, you're gonna have only 30 or only 25. And the problem with it is that when you string these mistakes together, all of a sudden, instead of 40 orders per day, you're going to have 10, but you're going to have 5. That's a real issue. That's the main thing you should focus on. But now, focusing on the design side, the situation is actually a bit easier than you think. And I think I speak about this in the principles part in Master Web Design in Photoshop. So he's asking how much space, for example, should he use? Let's actually, because I think he actually shows us the spacing. For example, here, right here, between the hero image and this paragraph text, well, between these two text layers, right? And it's actually much easier than you think. Let's actually open it up. So what I like to do is the following. I like to move it. I like to do the following. I like to do something like this. Okay, this is 40, for example, whatever this is. It doesn't matter what this is. Now for the next one, you probably know if you've been following my courses, what I like to do, what I like to avoid is this 30, right? So this is 30, this is 40. For me, this is a mistake. This is something that doesn't flow well. Instead, what I like to use is I either like to use 40 again, so I have symmetry. And again, this is one of the most important principles that I talk about in Master Web Design in Photoshop, because again, it's so incredibly important. Symmetry, it just makes everything pleasing to the eye. Unfortunately, when you actually implement the design, there's a very high chance that the developer won't actually put 40 and 40, but that's another discussion for another time. So that's the number one thing that you have to do in terms of spacing. Just trying to achieve symmetry. And when symmetry is not on the table, you do this, you do 20. So you show there's a clear distinction here. And in general, when you work with halves, it's usually a great fit, right? It's usually great to have a certain multiplier, right? Again, whatever, 100 and then 200. Right? Never use 100 and then whatever, 160. Never use 23 and then 37 or whatever, right? Try and stay consistent and try and use the same values through and through. Because basically, this is why in my courses I constantly use 20 or 30 pixels as an empty space, right? Because it's really easy to use your shift and arrow keys and just count it out, right? And then use the control key, and then you can easily measure it. Staying consistent and maintaining that symmetry, these things alone, if you just do these things alone, your design is going to be much improved, right? So you don't have to overthink it. As long as you stay consistent, as long as you use whatever 10 pixels here and then you use 10 pixels absolutely everywhere else, that's totally fine. That's all that you need to do. I remembered another question here where he asks about H1, H2, H3. And again, that's the wrong question, basically. Let me put it this way. It really doesn't matter if H1 is 60 pixels or 80 pixels or 40 pixels. It doesn't matter. You can use whatever value, right? Let's say we decide on 36, whatever. Now H2, this is the actual important part. H2, if H1 is 36, you should not make H2 34. Because it's too similar, right? It's the same principle as before. We have 20 and 40. They're different enough, right? If this is 36, the other one should be about 30, right? And then H3, if that's 30, you should probably go for 24 or something like that. Now, I'm sure there might be a guide somewhere regarding, the proportions between each of them. But to keep it simple, just make sure they're different enough. And if they're different enough, that's all that it takes. That's all that counts, right? So again, 36, whatever, 30 and 24. If you do that, you're going to be golden. You don't need to overthink it as long as it's different enough, right? And obviously make sure you use the same font. So if you use whatever Open Sans extra bold, make sure that you use it in all three. Don't use for H1 extra bold and then for H3 just use regular or whatever. That doesn't work well. From my experience, it's usually best to keep the same font. Let's see what else he says. Yes, so he was talking about spacing. Let's actually...
Basically designing these wireframes. Question I want to ask you is to do with, say, sizing and spacing. So when I'm making, like, as you know, there's always a ton of spacing to make when you're designing websites. I'm just never really sure about what kind of scale we should be using to determine space between bits of text inside of the
Yeah, basically, this is again his main question. Now, if you look here, what actually bothers me is the fact that this part is not aligned with this part right here. All right, so that's not cool. And again, I think that the most important bit is the fact that he has all this empty space, this empty space right here, and this is not gonna go well. This is not gonna, it's not gonna convert well. Again, if you're actually working with Google Analytics and you know what bounce rate means, basically your whole design is going to change dramatically, because all of a sudden you're not thinking about, being artsy or being creative or making sure that it looks in a certain way. You actually focus on what performs best, right? And because you're pushing the content so far down, because your unique selling points, because you're not bringing any value right immediately, it's basically not gonna be cool. Because look, this part here, assuming that you're on a laptop or on a mobile phone, you're not gonna see this image. I think maybe you're gonna see about 20% of this image. Best case scenario, right? Now again, I'm gonna absolutely kill you with my courses and my oatmeal business, but I think it's one of the easiest examples. If you see my website, let me actually show you the actual homepage. So when you see my website, you can immediately in the top part, even if you have a small resolution, you can see some images. These get your attention, these grab your attention. They're colorful, they show the actual product, it sticks out, And then when you actually go for the mobile version, again, you see two products immediately, right? So you get the price, you get the description, the reviews and whatnot. You're getting valuable information here. Whereas here, you're not getting anything. I don't care about your name. I'm not going to read this text. I don't care about this, right? Why should I care? First of all, you have to show me why I should care, and then you're going to continue. This is why YouTube thumbnails are so important, because the thumbnail establishes if you care or not, right? The actual information inside it doesn't really matter all that much. Obviously, it is relevant, but first of all, you have to make sure the user clicks, right? Now, in terms of bounce rate, what tends to happen is people come to a website and then a fairly high bounce rate is about 80%, maybe 85%, right? This usually happens when you create ads, when you buy traffic, right? When you run Google ads or the Facebook ads or whatever. Now, people come to a website, they see Dean Conway, and I don't know who Dean Conway is, right? If this said Bill Burr, or if this said whatever, Michael Jackson or Mike Tyson or whatever, someone that interests me, okay, then I might stay. But because I have no idea, I have no emotional attachment to Dean Conway, I'm not going to stay there. I'm not going to continue exploring, right? And when you're offering me text in this fashion, again, unless the copy is short and sweet and powerful, you're not gonna get me. Even if the copy is really good, you still have to create something visually impressive, something that gets my attention. Because again, I have so many tabs opened, right? And because I have so many tabs open, my attention is split into 5 different parts, into 20 different parts. My phone is constantly ringing and whatnot. So this is the type of thing that you have to do. So again, regarding the spacing and whatnot, sure, again, use 20 absolutely everywhere. If you want to create a variation, use 40, never use 30, right? That's the easy way to go about it. Regarding H1, H2, H3, make sure they're different enough. That's the most important thing. But assuming you do all this perfectly, assuming you implement all these changes into this design, it's still not going to be great. It's still not going to work. It's still not going to impress any client. It's still not going to get key metrics, good metrics basically, right? So this is the type of thing I'm constantly trying to let you guys know, because I really believe this is the key to actually making money and making a great career. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to have loads of experience or use whatever. Invest $50,000 in Google ads or whatever. I actually invested $45,000 so far. $45,000 just in Facebook ads. So that's quite something, right? And obviously, here's the thing. As a designer, right, and as an entrepreneur, when you invest so much money, you have to make sure that everything is perfect. When it's your money, when it's your landing page, where you have to make sure that you make a fabulous first impression, you obviously become hyper-focused on it. This is why I'm constantly talking about this so much. You become obsessed with it because, again, it's so much money, right? But see, the problem here is that Dean doesn't care all that much. He's not as desperate as I am. He probably wants to succeed. He probably wants to have a good landing page, but he doesn't have enough skin in the game, like they say it in the United States. He's not emotionally involved to the point where he's obsessed about it, right? So this is why so many designers don't actually create usable websites that actually make sense, right? This is why, for example, you don't see a call to action here. If you don't have a call to action, something that the user can actually click on to purchase, or a phone number to call, or an address to show up, if you don't have that, then why do you have a website? Don't assume that people will continue to watch and see how it turns out. This is not a sitcom where not until the third season you find out who gets hooked up with who, right? It's not like that, Monica, with Chandler and whatnot. That's not how it is. People don't have the patience. So again, this is one of the biggest things I'm trying to teach you guys about. Okay, let's see. Before we go, I made a poll here, and I'm thinking about the following thing. So we have all these levels. The more active that you are, you're gonna get a higher level, right? Level 4, level 5, level 6, and whatever, right? So I'm thinking, while I enjoy speaking with you guys, I would much rather have a conversation, right? Imagine if Dean Conway was here and he could say something, okay, Chris, but what about whatever, right? It would be a conversation, right? So this is what I'm thinking. Maybe, for top level people, for top level members, 12 level, the 12th level, we do a one-on-one, right? So everybody that has level 12 can ask a question or propose a topic or whatever, and then I'm gonna actually talk to that person. We're gonna do a one-on-one. You don't have to have a webcam. If you have one, that's great. You don't have to have a fantastic microphone, but ideally you would have a decent microphone. Your English, again, should be reasonable so we can understand each other. And yeah, it would be a back and forth, basically. So if you would like something like that, obviously, please go here and vote yes or no. With the thing that you actually have to, we do need members that are actually on the 12th level. Because right now, I think the highest level is number 7, right? So I'm not really sure if we're going to have enough people level 12. But the more active that you are, the easier it's going to be. Because basically, you level up, the more you write, the more you help people, the higher level you're going to get. Again, if that interests you, let me know in the general chat, and please vote in the announcements so I can see if this is something that's going to be worthwhile. Let me know in the general chat if you have any questions right now before I go. Can I design an XD for 99 designs? 100% sure. Yeah. Basically, there shouldn't be any problems with it. I would say probably there's a 5% chance that you're gonna encounter an old school business owner, somebody in his late 50s or 60s, and he might frown, about this or that. But in that specific worst case, you're just gonna recreate it in Photoshop, and that's that, right? So no worries. Yeah, you can use XD without any problems. I'm glad that you liked the XD course, by the way, Roland. So I appreciate that. Please write a review if possible. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna go back to writing some new lectures regarding Photoshop CC 2021. I'm doing some awesome stuff. I'm gonna update probably most of my courses. It's not gonna be just about CC 2021, new features and whatnot. It's actually gonna be new lectures, in general. So that's what I've been working on. Things have been going pretty good. But yeah, I need to get back at it and then buy some more of the boxes and some more of the cooling agent and find some space for them. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Chris signing out. Thank you.